Hi, everyone. This is Slade Coburn with Chief Outsiders, today on behalf of ACG New York for our Meet the Member segment with Hector Perez from Quantum FBI. Hector, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Slade.
Great. Hector, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company?
Sure. Happy to do that, Slade. I'm Hector Perez. I'm the CEO of a consultancy named Quantum FBI. FBI is for Finance and Business Intelligence. And in essence, we are a finance-driven organization that focuses on the finance function at early stage and middle market companies.
Great. And Hector, why are you a member of ACG?
I've been a member of ACG for probably 9-10 years now, and I've always been involved in the private equity community throughout my career. What I find within ACG is that it is a great place to engage with people who are in the private equity ecosystem with different levels of responsibilities and levels of involvement. But what it allows us to do is interact in a space that we all are drawn to. And by doing that and having so many players within this space come together, it allows us to bring value to one another as members that I find has been very rewarding throughout my career, and that keeps me involved every year.
Great. And Hector, I know you're very involved in ACG, as you mentioned, including on our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Maybe tell us a little bit about your involvement overall and why that committee? Why is that important to you?
Well, Slade, I have been involved for quite some time, and I've been on various committees. I've also served on the board for 2 terms. And I think my level of involvement, my commitment to the organization is really based on the value that I see and I get from the organization. It does a lot for the private equity community, particularly here in New York and around the country. It's the type of organization that I want to be involved with. After coming and rolling off of the board, I've remained involved on a number of committees, but particularly the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And the reason for that is because I believe that the world of private equity is expanding. There is increased interest from members that may not have seen when I started 9-10 years ago, and I see that continuing to evolve. I think the organization overall has basically been more inclusive and opened up its doors to different segments of the private equity community and professionals within the space. And I wanted to contribute to that as much as I can, because at the end, what we'll have is a much stronger organization, a more inclusive organization, and that helps the private equity community on a broader scale.
Great, great. So as someone who's been involved so long, what advice would you have for someone else who's either maybe just joined ACG or is thinking about joining ACG to get the most out of membership?
I think the greatest level of a benefit you get from being part of ACG is really participating in the events. I mean, it's great to read a newsletter every once in a while to see a communication come across your email, but if you really want to understand the power of ACG, it's really all about its members and the way the members are committed to their fellow members, right? And I say that not only in New York, but in other parts of the country, as I've attended events at other chapters. That's one of the benefits. It is a broad organization where almost on every night there's an ACG event happening across the country. So if you travel a lot like I do, that gives you an opportunity to meet members not only in your local chapter, but other chapters around the country. That just broadens your experience within the space.
Perfect. Well, Hector, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today, and thank you for everything you do for ACG and the broader M&A community.
Thank you, Slade.